right, so last time we talked about Lewis and Clark and the opening of the American West. And so we've got one more topic in this Founding Fathers unit to get the United States stretched all the way out to California. And so we're going to talk real quickly about the gold rush. If you were in class today, before I played or before we did this, I would have been playing Gold Digger. And so if you want to stop this and go pull up Gold Digger real quick and listen to that, and then come on back, that would give you an idea of my sense of humor. You don't have to, but just maybe you do. I'll wait a second. All right, welcome back. And so let's go to talking a little bit about just California in general. Before it was part of the United States, California was under control of the Spanish and then eventually the Mexican government. Now, you may have seen this if you've ever seen like the old um, Zorro television series or the more recent movies with Antonio Banderas. I love the first Zorro movie. The second one is on my list of movies that never actually happened. Um, but you can find the first one located in the film library. But when the Spanish came to California, one of the things they did is established missions in places. And so a mission would look kind of like what you see here. They would have a church, and then the town would grow up around the church. And so if you head out that way, you see cities like San Francisco, named after Saint Francis, or Los Angeles, which is the city of angels. And so you've got some definite Spanish influence out there. It's the conquistadors who are going to bring kind of the European influence to California. You see a picture there of those guys too. Well, we're going to talk a little later about a conflict called the Mexican American War. But suffice to say, the Mexican American War is a war between the United States and Mexico. It starts with a dispute about the state of Texas, or the territory of Texas, and it wanting to become part of the United States. There's a short war between the two. It's won by the United States, and as part of the peace treaty, basically we get the western part of the United States. It's about a third of Mexico that they'll lose during the Mexican-American War. Well, right after the close of the war, January 24th, 1848, at a place called Sutter's Mill in California. This is a picture of modern-day Sutter's Mill. Um, they discover gold. This was in a stream. Mills had to be by water to keep the big wheels turning, and so the people running the mill discover gold, and quite a bit of it. And so what that's going to do is start a gold craze in the United States. People are going to hop into wagons or onto ships to come to California to make their fortune. Because even though we talk about the American dream being life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, the American dream really, probably more accurately, is how can I get rich really quickly without doing a whole lot for it? And that probably is a little closer to the true American dream than even the American dream is. So we've got things being found here, and so people are going to rush out. Now this is obviously it's 1848. This is before the Transcontinental Railroad and things like that. And so by rushing, it was time word got back almost a year before you start to see these people showing up, and they become known as 49ers. Now, we know the 49ers today as San Francisco's football team. But 49ers were people who came out in 1848, 1849 to try and make their fortune in gold. That's Joe Montana in the bottom right, probably a little better picture of an actual 49er to his left. You see the gold flakes that they were finding in these streams. And then the ad on the side talks about a steamship that would actually take you all the way down around around the bottom of South America. You had to be real careful for the militant penguins that live there in Antarctica. You got to be real careful for them. They throw spears, but they would take you around and then um, put you on the coast. Or this particular ship would take you down to Nicaragua, which is in Central America. They would take you across um, the land there, and then put you on another steamship in the Pacific Ocean and take you up. Now, if you'll notice, the poster there is advertising 200 jackasses. Usually, this is the point in time where I make a joke about that being the senior class, but in all honesty, in 2020, I love last year's class, and so I wouldn't even say that about them. And so you guys play your cards right, and I may not make that joke next year either, but just give you an idea how folks are getting there. These are some of the big finds that they'll gold finds. You see the Comstock lode there, and there are a couple of cities that are going to spring up, and the cities spring up because these guys had to be supplied, and so not everybody's out finding gold, but you have to find, those people needed tools, they need food, things like that, and so people open up shops and things to support them. San Francisco really grows up big. You can see Sacramento, the capital of California, is close, but several of the large gold deposits that are going to be there. Um, One of the guys that goes out is a guy named um, Levi Strauss, and he actually um, makes blue jeans out of the material that was being used for the canvas of wagons. And so his big contribution were the rivets that were on the tension points, like on the pockets and things like that, to help the jeans hold together as they were doing this difficult work. You see here, you could pan for gold. Up at the top is a kind of an early strip mining system. Take the water and blast away the soil until you find gold. You also had a sluice that's down there at the bottom. So just a whole bunch of different ways for people to try and get in on the gold. The problem is there's gold for the first folks to get out there, but really for the majority of people, it's not going to be something that's going to make them rich. They'll spend an awful lot of money getting out to California, and then they don't have the money to come back. And so they become residents of California, and as a result, California becomes a state very quickly. Right? You had to have a certain amount of people to get in the state. This gold rush brings a lot of people out there. The gold rush will eventually go to down south into Arizona and New Mexico, kind of in that area. It's what brings several of the folks to Tombstone. If you've seen that movie or know the story of that incident down that way, and then eventually up into Alaska as they're finding gold. It's not the only time in our history people are going to go to California, though. We're going to see when we talk about the Great Depression that people go to California not to get rich, but just to get food. Okies, people who were displaced by the Dust Bowl from their farms in Oklahoma, travel out to California for the chance of making enough money to feed their families by being able to pick fruit and things like that. So we've got some migrant workers heading out from the inside of America out to the coast to do that, just kind of the hope of survival. In the 1960s, we see the image of California change again. Bands like the Beach Boys tell us about all the surfing and the pretty girls that are there in California, and you get an image that way. Towards the end of the 1960s, a group of people that want to check out of society, the hippies, will find themselves in California, Haight-Ashbury, looking for a way to escape kind of the harsh reality that they were seeing in the United States. Finally, today, California still holds a place in the American imagination. This is a place where we can go and get rich, not by finding gold, but by finding fame, right? You go out, get on a TV show or in the movies, and it's a way of becoming famous. And so you'll see people going to California for that purpose. One of my favorite rom-coms is the movie Pretty Woman, a copy of which is located in the film library. And at the very beginning of the movie, fellows walking past the screen, and it says, "Welcome to Hollywood." Everyone that comes to Hollywood's got a dream. What's your dream? And so California seems to be the place where the rest of us Americans look to as a place of kind of ideal life and a way to achieve kind of a greater dream. So that all gets started with the gold rush, which again makes it very easy for California to become a state. So that should do it for the founding fathers and our founding fathers coke list.